Right now at noon, detectives in Washington County are searching for more potential victims after a man was arrested accused of sexual assault. The charges he's now facing and why investigators believe there may be more victims.
I don't think just giving and giving and giving. I think that there has to be another solution.
Portland is entering 2026 still addressing one of its biggest challenges, homelessness. Ahead, how conditions are improving and why some say it's still not enough. And the Oregon Ducks are making program history as they head to the Peach Bowl on the hunt for a spot in the College Football National Championship. Next, how Ducks clinched their Orange Bowl win. On KGW News at noon, I'm Tim Gordon. As we kick off 2026, the city of Portland continues to try to address one of its biggest challenges, and that's homelessness. And many people living on the street are looking to improve their conditions too. Thomas Schultz reports from downtown Portland.
Well, all across town, it's not hard to find tents or people living on the streets. Many of those people are trying to get their lives back on track. And the city of Portland is trying to help too. Mayor Keith Wilson opened more shelter beds in his first year in office, meeting his goal to add 1,500 overnight shelter beds to address the crisis. And while some people, like a man who goes by Big Unc Williams, don't use the shelter, he says it's good that there's more of them.
I don't hang out in the shelters because to me, I don't feel safe. But they are beautiful. My hat goes off to Portland. Portland is one of the realest cities.
We spoke to another man named Jeremiah Rodman who isn't homeless but spent New Year's Day looking for his brother Michael. He says Michael is addicted to fentanyl and is a shell of the man he once was. Last year, Rodman found Michael in this tent, sick and suffering from gangrene. He took him to the hospital to get help. Rodman says Michael has been arrested and released multiple times without ever seeking treatment for his addiction. And he doesn't think his brother's situation is exceptional.
I think coming down on drugs and criminalizing it more and being a little more harsher on that, I think that can help. You got food shelters and banks over here. So what's the real answer to helping them? I don't think just giving and giving and giving. I think that there has to be another solution.
And of course, in the cold winter months, people living on the streets have to deal with harsher conditions. Though this year, the city and county say that they will keep overnight warming shelters open 24/7 when conditions are at their worst. In downtown Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
New at noon, the Washington County Sheriff's Office is searching for more potential victims after they arrested this man, 36-year-old Andrew Graham, on sexual assault charges. Investigators say he met the victim on a dating app and sexually assaulted them in Portland and near Metzger Park. Undercover detectives messaged him and led him to believe he was still talking to his victim. They say Graham expressed wanting to meet a child to pay for sex. Graham is now facing several charges, including sexual solicitation. Detectives believe there may be other victims and would like to speak with anyone who has additional information. Call the number on your screen. It is 503-846-2500. Let's get a check now of the weather with Chris McGinnis. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning or good noon. Good lunchtime to you, sir. What's for lunch? You buying? Let's get you out the door here. Look at the springs at the waterfront here from Vancouver. We had a really drippy morning out there, but the rain, at least for right now, is giving us a break up and down the I-5 corridor from Vancouver south to Salem. The live look from the springs at the waterfront confirms that. It's 44. Last check in Vancouver, and as we look over downtown Portland, of course, the Wells Fargo sky camera is up in that low cloud deck, so it still looks pretty soupy out there, but it's also warmer than it was yesterday at this time. 45 last check at PDX. Speaking of warmer, the freezing level is still pretty high today, so no snow on the mountain, but stay tuned on that. There is some good Cascade snow in my 7-day forecast, and we'll talk about that in a bit. The Capitol Mall kind of socked in with that low cloud deck as well. It's 46 degrees in Salem. As we mentioned, a little break in the rain right now. Nothing falling from those clouds in Longview, Vancouver, Portland, and Salem. But off to the west, another batch of showers or light rain working its way into the central Oregon coast. And you can see the progress that batch has made in the last 3 hours. So it is inching towards the I-5 corridor. And I think rain does return here a little bit later on today. So I've got light rain back in the picture here by about 2 or 3 o'clock. And then starting to break up as we get towards the 5 o'clock hour here. And temperature-wise, we should inch into the 50s, so significantly warmer than yesterday, and obviously a little wet out there this afternoon. So the weekend forecast breaks down like this. We've got some rain, we've got some wind, we've got some Cascade snow, and a wet 7-day. All of that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you then. Thanks, Chris. Well, the celebrations were top tier after a historic victory for the Oregon Ducks in their first ever Orange Bowl. Our Orlando Sanchez was there and brings us a look at the Ducks' win against Texas Tech.
What a difference a year makes. The Oregon Ducks using that Rose Bowl feeling as motivation. Fast forward 365 days later, and the Oregon Ducks kicked off 2026 with a bang, making a defensive statement in their first ever Orange Bowl. Welcome to Miami. It doesn't get much better than this. 64 and sunny to kick off 2026. More than 64,000 inside Hard Rock Stadium. The 5th-ranked Oregon Ducks facing number 4 Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. A trip to the Final Four on the line. The Oregon defense setting the tone. Tatum Tuioti, the man out of Sheldon High, wreaking havoc, forcing back-to-back 3-and-outs. The Red Raiders led the nation in forced takeaways, but it was the Ducks D winning the turnover battle. Bryce Betcher delivers the hit, and Brandon Finney Jr. makes the recovery. Despite a dominant first half, Oregon failed to finish drives, and it was only a 6-0 lead. Third quarter, Mateo Uyunglele with the play of the day. Incredible strip sack, putting the Ducks in business. The freshman, Jordan Davison, cashing out. His first of 2 rushing touchdowns on the day. But it was the Oregon defense that shined brightest. Brandon Finney Jr. had 2 interceptions, the defensive MVP. The Ducks forcing a season-high 4 turnovers. Oregon shuts out Texas Tech 23-0. It's Oregon's first postseason shutout since the 1917 Rose Bowl.
The resiliency that they showed, their ability to stay calm and poised and collected under pressure. It's not easy in big moments, but these guys have shown time and time again that they're ready for big moments.
To do it against a really good Texas Tech team in that fashion is pretty surreal and feels really, really good. But I'm already kind of on to next week. Not gonna lie, I'm ready. I'm ready to go for another game. More motivation. I mean, it's a great feeling to win, but I want more.
Being in Miami was great. Great weather. Of course, I'm just proud of the fans that traveled out here from Eugene. But yeah, of course, that's everybody's team's end goal. But you can never look too far ahead.
The celebration was great, but talking to the team in the locker room, they expected to win this game. And now they have more football to play, advancing to the semifinals of the college football playoff for the first time since 2015. They'll meet Indiana in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta on January 9th, the only team to beat the Ducks this season. And make sure to follow us on air and online because KGW is making the trip to Atlanta. Reporting from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Orlando Sanchez, KGW Sports.
All right, great job, Orlando. And you heard Orlando mention KGW will be following the Ducks all the way to Atlanta for the Peach Bowl next Friday. Look for live reports next week on air and on our free TV streaming app, KGW Plus.